Let's start with the new W drama, Flack, starring Anna Paquin as this sort of PR. Apparently it's called Flack because that's the name of PRs in the US. I had no idea about that, and I don't think
same.
Anna Paquin stars as this sort of PR person who's, helping her clients with various issues they've got and keeping them at the top of their game. Meanwhile, as you might suspect, as hung together as she is at work, her personal life is surprisingly a mess. We've not seen that before. That incredibly original. Why don't you start, Sophia, and tell us your initial... Did you know anything about this show when I put it in the email?
Yeah, I had heard of it before. When I looked it up, I found that it actually started out as a Channel 4 pilot in 2013, which might sort of explain why it does feel a little bit dated sometimes. Apparently, the pilot, when they did that, was Sheridan Smith as the main role, and Phoebe Waller-Bridge as her co-worker. So it's obviously been in development for a very long time, and it's ended up on the W channel. I had quite mixed thoughts on it. I watched the first two. I didn't really like the first episode, but then in the second one, I actually started to enjoy it a bit more. I figured out the reason why is that I don't really find Anna Paquin's character very interesting at all.
No.
Like you sort of suggested before, it feels like quite a cliche. She's this successful career woman and she looks amazing all the time, but she's damaged. And, the first episode, she does a lot of cocaine and she has sex with a client. And it just didn't feel very different or interesting to me. And the first episode is very much about her, introducing her to us. And the second episode, I think the reason why I enjoyed the second one a bit more is because it's less about her and it's more about things going on at the PR firm. And for example, in the second episode, the main plot is that they're trying to make this sex tape involving a client of theirs. There's more of the side characters being involved, like her co-worker Eve has more to do, and I think she's gets most of the best lines, really. Rufus Jones's character is more involved in the second episode as well, and it's less about Robin. I think I figured out that I would prefer this show if it was 20 or 30 minute long episodes about people working in a PR firm, and I could do without all the stuff about Robin's personal life, I think.
Did you find it funny at all?
A few of the one-liners were quite funny. It's mainly Eve, really, who's played by Lydia Wilson. She gets quite a few one-liners in the second episode. In the first episode, I found it a bit overwhelming because, nobody's talking in a way that people talk in real life. It's very sort of quippy, and there was a scene where Robin and Eve are walking down the corridor talking to each other, and I kind of almost zoned out because they were speaking so quickly. Every other line is some sort of witty quip. I didn't find it particularly funny, but in the second episode, when I was sort of enjoying it a bit more, I liked some of the one-liners, and the boss character, who's played by Sophie Okonedo. I didn't really get her in episode 1, and then in episode 2 she had a few moments, there's a point where Robin calls her and she's having Botox done in her office while she's on the call, and it was a bit more fun in the second episode, I thought.
It took itself less seriously in the second one.
It's not supposed to be hopefully, I'm assuming it's not supposed to be realistic portrayal of what a PR firm is like, or a realistic portrayal of what women are like. And once I kind of accepted that in the second episode, I thought it was a bit more fun.
Felt like something that the BBC would have made in sort of the mid-noughties when they were making things like Cutting It and the ITV were doing Footballers' Wives. It was just a little too heightened, and I don't really find the world that interesting or engaging. And Sophie Okonedo is an actress I really, I always watch stuff she's in, and I don't quite know how she ended up in this. It seemed like a character that was so far away from what she normally plays, and I just found it really unengaging and uninspired, and it felt like something I'd seen before but years ago, but just not as interesting.
Anna Paquin's character has been done so many times before, it just doesn't feel like an interesting female character anymore. Like you said, it might have done a few years ago, like, oh, she's a messy woman, how exciting. But that it's just been done loads before.
They try to make her sympathetic, don't they? Because you find out her mum committed suicide, and it's the anniversary of her mum's death and things like that. I didn't buy Max Beasley at all as this celebrity chef. I don't know what he was doing there. It felt messy and sort of cliched and contrived. From what you're saying about episode 2, it sounds better. It sounds like the show it should have been in episode 1. But I do think they are trying to make this realistic, and maybe that's not the slant that I should have been looking at. Maybe it is like this heightened world. But I do agree. I thought Lydia Wilson was the best thing about the first episode as well.
Yeah.
I thought she was very almost sort of scenery chewing, sort of snobbery from her. But yeah, I didn't really sort of buy into the world. It reminded me, and I'm not quite sure why, of The Split from last year. I'm not quite sure why. I think it's that sort of middle class world that it sort of creates.
I didn't know whether it's the acting or the character, but I almost immediately took against her, and I know that's a terrible thing to do, but I kind of was almost immediately not interested in her at all. Or her sort of, her sister and her family life didn't really interest me either. I thought I'd seen it all before. Will you continue on then, Sophie, now as you've persevered with episode 2?
I think I'll give episode 3 a chance. If it's similar to episode 2, then I might carry on. But if it's, continuing to do a lot with Robin's personal life, more than the sort of PR firm, I think I'll probably, stop after episode 3. We'll have to have a look.